I'm Jelly, a Jelly book fanatic. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do the Pokemon Go book tag. I thought this was appropriate because I am doing a Pokemon Indigo League readathon right now, so I thought I would do a Pokemon book tag. Starters, a book that started your love for reading. The series that I'm going to name didn't really start my love for reading, but it rekindled my passion for reading, and that's the Twilight series by Stephenie Meyer. That is the only series I can honestly picture that started my love for reading, actually. I read this series when I was 13 or 14 and I fell in love with reading all over again. I devoured the whole series, and I think this is a series that did the same thing for a lot of people, and it rekindled a lot of loves for reading with a lot of people, and I think that is an amazing thing, and I will always treasure this series. Sorry if the camera angle changed, but I had to get a book from the stack. But Pikachu, an iconic classic that you'll always love. Emma by Jane Austen, and I think the fact that I have two copies of the same book clarifies that I love this classic. It is one of the first classics I remember reading, and it was this past year, and I fell in love with it. Before this, I never fell in love with a classic, and this one just got to me. Zubat, a book you lost interest in because it's literally everywhere. The Selection series by Kiera. I haven't been interested in this ever, but the fact that everyone's been talking about it and saying it's a guilty pleasure read, and that the main character is one of the most annoying characters they've ever read about, I just lost interest in it. Ditto, a book that reminds you of other books or tropes, but you still love anyway. The Winter's Curse by Marie Rutkoski. I read this recently, and it isn't the most original story. It's about a war that's blooming and a really cliche love story, but I rated it 4 stars anyway because I really enjoyed it. Snorlax, a book you have not started because of sheer size. The Well of Ascension by Sanderson is the second book in the Mistborn series. I love The Final Empire, and I am going to read The Well of Ascension. It is on my full TBR, which I will link down below. I didn't start it earlier because it's just so massive. Like, the whole series is massive, and I have a hard time getting through massive books. I'm just scared it's going to be slow paced and it's going to take me forever to get through it. Gengar, a book that kept you up at night. This is a book I read really recently, as in a couple of days ago, and that is Gena/Finn by Hannah Moskowitz and Kat Helgeson. This is a book with LGBTQ plus elements. It depicts just fandom and fangirling and fanfiction really well, and I loved it, except for the ending. The ending was abrupt and I didn't love it, but the rest of the book was really good. Nidoking, Nidoqueen, your bookish OTP. Reasons and a favourite from A Court of Thorns and Roses, and specifically the second book, A Court of Mist and Fury, because they really get to know each other in that one, and oh my god, my heart is just bursting with love for them. Rapidash, a fire-hot, fast-paced read, and I interpreted fire-hot as new adult contemporary, and you might have thought of an action-packed book, but I went with a contemporary that I loved. It is Fragile by E. Francis. It is a new adult book that depicts a lesbian relationship, and I thought it did that so well, honestly. It depicted a relationship amazingly, and also some more serious issues, and I just thought this is how it happens in real life, you know? Just two people falling in love, and the sex was written so genuine and honest and raw as well, and I thought it was so great. It is really underrated, so you should read it if you haven't. Eevee, a book you'll never get tired of seeing spin-offs for. The Summer series by CJ Duggan. Honestly, this series doesn't have any spin-offs, it just has companion novels that follows a different couple in every book, but I would never get tired of reading about the town Onslow in Australia and about all these characters. But the series has ended, and I would like some more in that world, but I don't think it's going to happen. But it's too bad, but I would literally read anything. Magikarp, a book series that was surprisingly awesome. Wolf by Ryan Graudin. I had this on my TBR, and I was really interested in the synopsis, but I didn't expect to love it as much as I did. I rated it 4 stars, and I don't rate books that highly, especially not fantasy books. I just have a hard time with fantasy books most of the time. But I really love Wolf by Wolf. I hate World War II stories, so It did something really well there. Legendary, an overhyped series you're still excited to read. The Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I have read the bind-up of novellas, The Assassin's Blade, and the first book, Throne of Glass, but I haven't read any of the other books in the series. But I am still so excited to continue on with this series, especially after A Court of Mist and Fury, because I've seen what Sarah J. Maas can do, and I don't want to be spoiled for Throne of Glass, and I just want to find out what everyone has been raving about. Mew and Mew 2. A collector's edition you wish you owned. Every Penguin Chalk edition, I have one. This is the only Penguin Chalk edition I own. It is Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, and it is literally beautiful. And I want to own Pippi Longstockings, The Wizard of Oz, literally everything in this edition. Poke Egg, a debut novel you're very excited for. Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. This book is coming out on the 30th of August, and everyone who has been getting early copies says it's so good, and this has been on my TBR for the past month. This is one of the novels I was most anticipating to read. I can't wait, because it is about a girl who spirals into depression. I love those kind of stories. So I really need this in my life. Lure Module, an author by author. C.J. Duggan. I don't have any physical copies of her books, but I do have all of her ebooks. Everything she brings out doesn't matter the synopsis, I'll read it. She brings out new adult contemporary books, and she's one of my favorite authors ever. After the summer series, I've also read her Paradise duology, and it's very vague on when all her other books are coming out, but she has a lot planned, so I'm so excited. Surface Down, a book release you've been waiting on forever. Gemina by Amie Kaufman and J. Kristoff. And also Holding Up the Universe by Jennifer Niven. Those two releases, both in October. Such an exciting month. I cannot wait. These are books I've been anticipating ever since reading All the Bright Places in 2014, like a new book by Jennifer Niven, and after reading Illuminate a couple of months ago. To me, it feels like forever. So this is the Pokemon Go book tag. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't done this yet, I tag you to do it. Let me know your answers down below to all of these questions. Do you have the same answer to some of these questions as I do? I would love to know. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.